August 14th, 2020. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Matt Morgan and Raj Giri, here to talk about Friday night's SmackDown on Fox. And what a night it was. We saw a three-brand women's battle royal to determine the new number one contender for the SmackDown Championship. More on that in a bit. We saw Retribution, again, wreaking havoc at the WWE Performance Center. We saw the announcement of a hair versus hair match coming up at SummerSlam. We saw The Fiend versus Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss caught in the middle. Oh, who will she ultimately prove loyal to? So much happening tonight, so much to talk about. And perhaps most interesting, WWE Payback. A pay-per-view happening 1 week after SummerSlam on Sunday, August 30th. Raj, has that ever happened before on a quote-unquote main roster WWE pay-per-view situation?
And not in recent memory. Back in the day, there was a Survivor Series where they had The Undertaker beat Hulk Hogan. And then I think it was 3 nights later, they did a pay-per-view called Tuesday in Texas. And so you had to buy that pay-per-view to watch the rematch. And then Randy Savage, they kind of had teased that he was going to face Jake the Snake Roberts at Survivor Series. And then they pulled that away. And then that happened on that Tuesday in Texas. And so outside of a few days later, I can't remember a pay-per-view happening 1 week later with WWE.
It'll be something. And it's going to be on pay-per-view. They're not doing this like on FS1. This isn't a giveaway to ESPN or one of their broadcast partners. Straight up pay-per-view, just like SummerSlam.
Yeah.
There you have it. Matt Morgan, what did you think tonight? And you're in Longwood, not far from the Performance Center. Are you worried about Retribution coming to Longwood this gang of roving hooligans?
I am. I'm worried that they're going to write, Revolution in the middle of our downtown street, actually. Yes, I am. I'm very worried about them.
If you've got a dimmer switch, you're screwed because they keep, turning the dimmer switch up and down.
It's ridiculous. It's laughable now, is it not?
Oh my God, it's terrible.
I like the mystery and suspense behind who they are.
Yes.
But their acts are like, come on, guys, this is getting stupid.
This is so far the worst group since last year, the Dark Order last year.
Dark Order was pretty rough at first.
No, it's still not great, but it's better than it was last year.
Do you remember the Creepers? They were actually called the Creepers.
Yeah.
So Creepers is on my son's cartoon called PJ Masks. They're called the Creepers. It's the same thing. It's hilarious. A bunch of masked goons, not even goons, like scrawny goons at that. It was terrible.
We've had the Creepers, the Ninjas, and now Retribution. Yes. But they grew like 6 inches or 6 or 8 inches this week, so at least they're a little bigger.
Better stand-ins tonight.
Better stand-ins for sure. Enough people have made comments about it, I think, is why.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. It's really, really rough to but Matt, to your point, like the mystery is all they have. Like, I guess the 2 questions, who they are and why are they doing it?
Very true. And I think the other non-mystery is I bet you the chat room is going boinkers right now about your hat. Tell me I'm wrong.
The hat's it's 105 degrees here today. I said, I'm getting rid of all this hair. And again, with that, I'm just going to let it grow back in a little bit.
Chill, Glenn. It's Chill Glenn tonight.
It's Chill Glenn. That's right.
Listening to jazz and having some scotch.
Driving taxi cabs.
Right.
God. Matt,
I'm sorry. I'm going to hell. I'm sorry, Glenn.
Matt, Raj, we're of the generation where I think the only jazz records, the closest thing we ever owned to a jazz record was maybe a Tribe Called Quest album and Us 3. Remember Cantaloupe when that was really big?
That one song I do.
That one song was huge.
It was, but good call on Tribe Called Quest, actually. Yeah.
Yes. I don't. Do people really listen to jazz? I think that's one of those things you do just to sound cool. I'm really into Miles Davis.
Yes.
Right.
I think so. I agree.
And then you ask them to name like 2 Miles Davis songs, and they're stuck.
Oh, but come on! What about Coltrane, baby? What about Coltrane? Wait, what? All right, name 1 song from him.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing. Yes, people saying I look like a bookie. I'm chilling in the parking lot of an OTB wearing the hat.
I was thinking,
it's fine.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's all gonna go downhill from here.
Like a thinner white rerun.
Like a thinner white. Red Rerun Barry was a pretty hefty man. I do have a red beret somewhere around here. Anyhow,
Can't do his dance.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could dance like
He's
Rerun.
the first celebrity I ever met.
Where did you
wrong
meet
with
him?
that?
He came to speak at our high school when I lived in New Mexico, and it was kind of sad because they were trying to get everyone to just chant rerun, and no one was doing it.
Really?
And then he came out, yeah, but he was doing a speech about not doing drugs.
What's wrong with your school?
They were pricks.
Seriously?
I was chanting it.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
That show was so over when we were kids too. You'd think.
Huge.
And the main guy's name was Raj.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Man, I even watched all of What's Happening Now. That's what a fan I was of that series.
Same here.
Yeah. The weird episode when Dee and Dwayne went on a date. It's very, very strange.
Dee was hilarious when she was a kid.
Oh my God. She's so funny. Her timing.
Yes.
She still looks just fantastic. When you watch the show now, like her humor holds up. Everything about her performance was wonderful. I can't quite say the same about Retribution tonight on W. And could somebody teach these kids how to tag? You know, like it looks like the Whataburger logo more than the WWE logo that they're putting in the circle with the flash.
I thought the same thing the first time I saw it. Yeah.
Antoine Fair, $5 super chat. Glenn looks like he's going to hustle people at a pool hall or shoot 18 holes. Yeah, you never know. Pool's one of those things I always assumed I'd be good at. And the first time I played it, I was like, oh no, I am not good at this. Yeah. I assumed wrong.
You got to play it a lot.
Yeah, it really does take some skill. So I never actually golfed. I've only been to a driving range, and that I was good at. I've never actually did 18 holes. Yeah. A lot of miniature golf, though, in my background. Raj, you're the golfer of the group.
I suck at it, but I enjoy it.
Just go out and hobnob with Bobby Lashley, hang out at the clubhouse.
Yeah, we compare biceps.
There you go. So tonight, we thought we were opening with Big E versus John Morrison, but wouldn't you know it, Retribution flashed the lights, ran into the ring.
That was annoying as hell because I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, and they did. I mean, at least they did it later, but...
Yeah, but just kick it off like that. I was like, this is a great way. I'm going to talk about on the podcast. Genius opening from WWE tonight, folks. You know, something like that.
Right.
And then they had to puke all over it.
Matt, you remember WCW in like 96, 97 when the NWO would come and it was chaos and they're taking over and there's chaos backstage. Compare that to this.
I would not dare to. It's not fair. Because this is terrible.
They need to watch those old Nitros because this is so contrived and so cheesy that there was a lot of good stuff on the show, or there was some good stuff on the show.
No,
it's just the bad is so bad that it kind of sticks in your mind more.
That's well said. I'll agree to that. It does, and there was good stuff on the show tonight. That match being one of it, but
it was actually a pretty solid show. Otherwise, I think this Retribution shelf life, man, they better stick the landing on the reveal of who's behind it and why they're doing it. I'm assuming it's going to happen. They'll probably SummerSlam. Maybe they'll tease with some sort of run in and then reveal it the next night on Raw.
So, P.S. They would have police there, like galore. All right, if this was really happening. So, do you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't just have the run of the mill like this. Right. They wouldn't just be able to come out through the gorilla or through the stands or whatever. It just wouldn't. It's impossible. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt. Suspend your disbelief. It's pro wrestling. You know, I have a hard time suspending my disbelief with this.
Again, when WCW did it, it was so cool and so organic that you could suspend your disbelief.
Dude, they had the cops ready to draw their guns on Hall and Nash, who had bats that night. Remember?
Yeah, and they would attack in the back, like outside of the arena, and like that time Kevin Nash threw Rey Mysterio in the dart.
They called the police for shoot.
Yeah.
This was the fourth time Retribution has interfered. You would think after the first one.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. They threatened Vince McMahon and told him, well, in these little memes or whatever you want to call them, pictures that they're putting on Instagram, their social media game. Their social media game is pretty tight. Where they put like the fuzzy screen, but if you look really closely, it says, what does it say? Like, we've taken over or something, or we own this place.
Think back to all the classic Instagram posts back when Patty Hearst was kidnapped and being forced to rob banks, and all the great Instagram stories we saw when Frank Sinatra Jr. was kidnapped and being held in Lake Tahoe. All the terrorists and kidnappers are down with Instagram.
Oh my
Hans
goodness,
Gruber had a banging Instagram account in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to like sending an ear in the mail or something like that, or taking hostages?
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. It's just like, again, after the first act, I'm telling you, there'd be police there.
Right.
Yeah. Anyhow, after that, oh my God, the locker room in disarray. What are they going to do about Retribution? Everybody's talking about Retribution. King Baron Corbin's going to lay down the law. He has no reason to fear anyone. Morrison get mad at the Miz. Said he was busy talking to Maurice because the pH level is off in her bidet. I mean, it was nice to see the locker room band together. I almost wonder, Raj, do you think they're going to, if they do the reveal between SummerSlam, maybe payback, Retribution? That does seem the tagline for SummerSlam. You won't see it coming. Maybe Payback is going to have like a Retribution match, or that'll be like when they assert their dominance, as it were.
I mean, the sooner they do it, the better. Because until they unmask these guys, this thing is going to suck. I mean, it's clear. And the farther you go along with it, the worse it's going to get. So, I mean, they got to unmask these guys, and it's got to be something satisfying. I don't think Tommaso Ciampa and Dominik Dijakovic, I don't think that's enough. I feel
Makes no sense.
You need faces that, because the NXT audience is a small portion of the Raw and SmackDown audience. So you need like a Rusev or someone that's going to like pop the casuals or the WWEs.
I'm going to make a prediction because they're not shooting as far ahead now, right? Because of the COVID positive tests.
Well, starting next week, it's going to be live.
Yes. Yeah. I want to make the prediction that they don't have a final lineup for Retribution yet. And I think they're still trying to work out.
Yeah.
Don't think this is planned.
They came up with it like that day that they debuted the angle.
So who's your wish list, Raj, for Retribution?
I mean, I think you need someone like a Rusev. I mean, what's a big surprise? CM Punk, if he were to come back, you wouldn't waste him on something like this. No. So you need someone like...
I don't think there's anybody good enough.
Rusev at least would... he would be a surprise. Someone like that,
Rusev, Aiden English, Leo Rush, Mike and Maria. I think the five of them.
Didn't I just see these people on my TV screen?
Right.
Yeah, but you let Maria go out there and say some of the stuff she's been saying on social media. You let Leo Rush go out there and say some of the stuff he said about how he was treated backstage and the problems he had with people. You have Rusev, who says, I had the top-selling merch, and you guys just ignored me and buried me. You compare that with Aiden, that could be a hot faction. I mean, that, I think, is the best case realistic payoff short of a CM Punk or an Enzo.
I want to know, though, why are you cramming Aiden English down my throat? Why?
Because Aiden and Rusev work well together, and Aiden.
Oh, okay, never mind.
By the way, we just interviewed Aiden a few hours ago on the site, so it's at least as of now, it's not him. But
all right, it's topical at least. All right.
But I was thinking about that. I was thinking what Mike and Maria are doing might be a bit of a work.
I think throw in some NXT guys, throw in your Dijakovic, a guy with size.
What are they getting Retribution for?
Being held down.
Because he hasn't been. I don't know. He hasn't been called up yet.
Why am I still in NXT?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we got some super chats, Raj. Why don't you tee him up?
All right, Ryan L's asking, saying, so was I right and Justin wrong? Did the Fiend turn Strowman heel? I think anyone that feuds with the Fiend ends up just looking uncool.
And they always do become a heel.
Pretty much. I mean, Cena came out looking bad. Seth Rollins came out looking bad. Goldberg. I mean, I guess Goldberg doesn't really count.
Not Goldberg, but...
Yeah, but Strowman now.
But Braun needs to become a heel again. We all talked about this. Him versus Roman was awesome. When he's tag teaming with Nicholas and Team Little Big, like the baby face was where
effective.
No, him as a big Bluto is it? From Popeye?
Yeah.
Type of heel is good.
Yeah.
Especially as champion.
Yeah. The Professor.
Oh, we got it in.
Minus or plus 5 minutes. We already got one in. And
nice.
I finished the Goonies the other night, so we'll talk about that later.
Okay, there you go. Nate Monroe, Buck99. Matt, what's the hardest match / spot you put together?
I would say probably maybe one of like the tag matches, the 4-way tag matches I've done with the Dudleys at TNA. with the Dudleys, Beer Money, LAX, because there's so many moving parts to it, especially with weapons in them. So I'd say maybe the Bound for Glory, we had like a 4-way tag match, I remember. And it was really tough to remember because there was so many places you had to be, and plus the gimmicks. Steve Mongo McMichael was our referee, kept screwing things up. But we were in Chicago, so it was cool. But yeah, that one, probably Bound for Glory, whatever year it was our 4-way tag team title match.
Yeah, Mongo was no Ric Flair, but he was a character.
Yes.
Name and real $1.99. Retribution is overexposed. Take off after the attacks. It's true. They linger a little too long. It looked better when they showed the recaps versus the live segments when it's happening.
We got someone that's 4'8", yelling, "We're taking over." It's hard to take seriously.
I am Air say a $2.99 super chat saying so no Foot Clan but Ninjas on Raw is okay. Steve Marcuccioli $1.99 Miz in Retribution could have been a little hint tonight.
He's a big enough star that could work. We need a big star at the center of it. We have to have a big star here, I feel.
Yeah, it's not Hogan, but
otherwise it's the mid card mafia.
Right. Yeah.
Aubrey James $4.99 saying WWE is so unwatchable they make their fans feel stupid.
Yes. Sometimes, yes, Aubrey. Yeah, sometimes it does. My wife walks in the room and she just looks at the screen, looks at me, looks at the screen, looks at me. I'm like, it's work. I have to watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's so much of that. Like if my wife walked in on that Randy Orton Ric Flair thing, I mean, she would be like, "What a dick," like she would be into it. Like that was amazing stuff. But there's so less of that and so much more of this goofy retribution and
unwatchable is a great word for it, Aubrey.
Yeah.
And then Aubrey with another $4.99. Thank you, saying I don't care about Braun Strowman anymore. He's a joke now. Can't take him seriously. I think that's why he loses at SummerSlam, but then he's at least a heel again.
And he can get all of his heat back, get all of his respect, whatever you want to call it back, like what she's talking about. That's the risk you run when you have a big monster and you make him into a dancing bear.
It's funny because both of these guys were the coolest characters at one point. The Fiend last year at SummerSlam when he beat Finn Balor came out with that entrance music. They didn't have the stupid pink lighting. He just destroyed him. It was badass. And then Braun Strowman, what was it, 4 years ago, when he was the heel against Roman Reigns, and it was just awesome.
Buddy Barlow pointing out Rusev just said he's never coming back. I think the more they protest, the more likely it is they're going to be involved in this angle.
Why is Rusev just randomly yelling he's not coming back, though? What happened?
Got to get those Twitch viewers.
I think he was... so he just did an interview with Ryback, our good friend. Yeah. And he was talking about... And we have an article on Wrestling Inc. about it. But he was talking about, when he was injured, no one from WWE reached out to him. Like Triple H, Vince McMahon, no one. And he had a lot of gripes.
Can we make a news report on how I reached out to Ryback for a campaign contribution and he no-sold it?
He
sent you supplements instead.
I love Ryback.
Sent you a signed photo, Mark White Sports $4.99. Thanks for the contribution.
Jeez, wow.
Leonza Duncan $5 super chat. No problem with Asuka winning. Storyline wise, it made sense. They made her life hell. Just wish she would have been beaten. Just wish she would have beaten someone and took their place instead. So let's talk about this tonight. 3-brand battle royal to determine the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We did have Asuka as a surprise entrance, but we also had Tamina Snuka, Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Naomi, Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, and Nikki Cross. No Rhea Ripley tonight, Matt. So
what the hell?
I know. Well, I said the other night, the biggest problem with WWE's women's division right now is that on the main roster, they got Sasha, they got Bayley, they got Asuka. With Becky and Charlotte gone, who else is at that level? And tonight, Asuka dominated all of these women, and she's going to be facing both Bayley and Sasha separately for titles at SummerSlam.
I think that's awesome, by the way. I did not expect that. So I thought that was cool. if what you're saying is true, they're trying to replace top female stars again. Why would, and I like the Asuka storyline, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not put Ripley in this?
I know.
You need to build her. She is your big star. Make it happen, WWE.
I agree. I feel like, I think if it wasn't Asuka, it would have been someone for Bayley to beat, because ultimately I think they want to get to Bayley and Sasha. So in that sense...
So you think Asuka's going to not win either one of these two
now
matches?
that throws a wrench in it. Like, you could have Asuka beat both Bayley and Sasha, and then they're pissed at each other. Or why not have a tag title match with Bayley and Sasha versus Asuka in a handicap match, and have Asuka win all 4 belts, and then you got triple champ Asuka.
Kurt Angle did that in TNA.
Yeah.
So there was an offhand comment backstage. Bayley said, "Well, I lost to Asuka last night on Monday, I also lost to Asuka last Monday on Raw." Now, the stipulation there was if Bayley had won, Asuka would not have faced Sasha at SummerSlam. So Bayley losing made that happen. Bayley said, I lost, but I'm facing her for my title. So now I'll have a reason to fight and something to care about. And Sasha gave her a look like keeping her out of the match with me wasn't something to care about. So they were teasing that tonight. They were laying the groundwork. But this Battle Royal was good. I thought that Tegan Nox looked fantastic.
She's another one that I think is right on that precipice of someone that could be a big star for them too.
A lot of this night, actually, all of these women looked pretty good in this match. I mean,
of course you say that, Glenn.
No, but it's true. I'm looking at it. I mean, it's like, okay, even Dana Brooke got a chance to have some shine. What I'm saying is they gave...
Did Liv Morgan look good?
I thought Liv and Ruby, they're not giving Liv...
They were like the first ones out, weren't they?
Yeah,
at least Ruby was.
They're not giving them their due. But, no, I think that there's potential here with this. I mean, still, Matt, this cast of characters, if wrestlers are action figures,
right?
You tell me if I'm a kid now, this is the roster that looks cooler to me, what we saw in the ring tonight, than Shorty G and the dude with the suit and a king's crown on his head, and the guy that looks like he just got done working a shift at the docks in the 1930s.
No, I agree with that. They're all very, very different from their look, especially.
But who got punked the most tonight, I think, was Shayna Baszler.
Why do you think she got punked?
Because it came down to her and Asuka, but with Shayna got called up to the main roster after her hugely dominant run in NXT, right? And since she's been there, it looked like she got the opportunity against Becky at WrestleMania. But now, I mean, she got the spotlight in the Raw Underground is probably the best thing that's happened to her since Elimination Chamber.
Well, she's not owed anything. I mean, she hasn't done anything to build herself up. Her promos have sucked. I look at Sonya Deville, and she's everything that people wanted Shayna Baszler to be. She's got the promo skills. She looks believable. She has it.
And you could put her in a ridiculous storyline like that she's currently in and pull it off.
Yeah.
That's the real test.
Right. So I don't see... I'm totally fine with them not pushing Shayna because I don't see why they should.
So you think that Asuka holds all the gold is where this could be going?
God, I hope not. I mean, I'd like to see them elevate some more women up. I feel like there's too many kind of being, just having nothing done with them. And, at least on SmackDown, you do have the Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville storyline, but on Raw, it's just Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka. And
don't forget Zelina Vega poisoned Bianca's man.
Right, but yeah, right. I mean, Bianca is a perfect example. Bring someone, bring a couple other people up. You don't have to have just one women's feud.
It is also kind of weird that outside of Sasha, Bayley, and Asuka, all of the other women's storylines, or in the case of Mandy and Sonya, and in the case of Zelina and Bianca, do involve their relationships.
Yeah. Real quick, a couple of these super chats. Matt Purvis with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He's asking, interested in y'all's thoughts on Bully Ray's theory that an Orton-Charlotte feud is on the horizon. I think it could be money, especially with Orton on the mic. Happy Friday night. And they're not going to do it. Unless Charlotte is with Andrade or something, I can't see them doing a male versus female feud. Paul B is asking, what if it's Big E behind Retribution? He said he wasn't alone. Someone actually floated the idea.
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Someone actually floated the idea. What if it was Xavier Woods? Because he's been gone.
Okay.
It would be
got my attention on that too. Cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. What else do we got?
By the way, they mentioned that next week they're going to be in a different location. They're not going to be at the Performance Center. So starting next week, Raw and SmackDown are going to be live every week from the Amway Center in Orlando, and SummerSlam is going to be from the Amway Center. So no more Performance Center for the time being. So thank God, because the Performance Center has just, they have not adapted to the Performance Center, and it's been killing them. So,
and that's starting next Friday.
Yeah, that's starting next Friday, and basically every show on. And now Raw and SmackDown are back to being live every week.
So Raw 2 Monday night is live now. They should have had Retribution blow up the Performance Center.
Oh, hey, I like that idea.
Something, right?
Make a storyline out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they destroyed it so bad that they got to find a new location. I like that.
Chris Pantaleo has a question for you, Matt. $4.99 super chat. Wants to know, when you asked Ryback for a donation, did he say, "I'll get Ryback to you"?
Terrible. That is terrible. No, he didn't say that.
Justin Lopez, $5. I see Sasha losing her title more than Bayley. So if Rhea would have won this battle royal, it would have set her up to take another L on a major pay-per-view. And that's part of it too. I will say Asuka does seem credible. I wouldn't have thought Naomi was going over Bayley if it had been her.
That's true. What was the next match?
Well, after that tri-band battle royal with Asuka winning, we saw promos from Sonya and Mandy about the hair versus hair match at SummerSlam.
So she had her hair cut. I'm confused by that one.
Oh, I think it's hair versus hair match is typically like you shave the opponent's head, right?
Do you think that's really going to... Oh, they're totally shaving Sonya Deville's head, and she's going to look like a badass.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I agree. Yeah, you're not shaving Mandy Rose's head.
No, Sonya Deville could pull it off, and I think she'll look even cooler somehow. That's my prediction. That's a hard thing to pull off. I think she could.
No, I agree. Antoine Fair, $5. I feel like we ask for long-term booking and then get passed at long-term book, or then get pissed at long-term booking. It's like we ask for it but forget to give it time.
This is true. He's right though. He's right on that.
It's an ebb and a flow though, right? It's like think about even a TV series like Lost. A lot of people stopped watching because the journey has to be as interesting as the destination. It can't just be about stick around for 100 episodes, then you're going to get a mind-blowing payoff.
Okay, but then you look at the biggest slow burn show of all time that started it all, I will argue, Breaking Bad.
Oh, The Wire was before that, but sure.
Oh, yeah, The Wire. Was that really that slow, though? I didn't think it was that slow.
Most people bail on The Wire because they find it too slow. Breaking Bad moves fast, I think.
No way. No, it doesn't.
Yeah. Dude, you got to watch Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul is like an entire episode for somebody to mail a letter or turn on a light switch. But it's good. It's very good. But Breaking Bad,
but those ratings were great ratings. So like, if it's good enough, people will stick around no matter how slow it moves.
But Breaking Bad was so good with the cliffhangers and with like, I got to tune in to see what happens next.
You're just we watched for seasons of it. You're not remembering to the first season of where you were on episode 3. I
do remember episode 3.
Because I remember going, this is taking forever. But
episode 3 was Gray Matter. Gretchen and Elliot were going to offer him the job and give him the money. And he said, no, I choose to deal the meth.
So you're missing the point. The point is the reason you care about all of that and you think it's fast acting, which it was not fast acting. It is notoriously known as a slow burn show. They use that show as the example. All right. Is the fact that you care enough about the characters. A lot.
Yes. And I apologize. It was episode 5 when Gretchen and Elliot offered Walt the money in Breaking Bad.
Nobody cares.
Anyhow, so Raj, what do you think? We want long-term storytelling, long-term booking, but then we get pissed when it takes too long. I'm arguing that you have to make the journey as good as the destination.
I don't get pissed if it takes too long. I get pissed when it sucks from the beginning. Yes. But if you start off with something intriguing and then see where it goes, that's a whole different story.
The explanation of the Fiend, they did that very well, I thought.
Yeah,
right. We hung in there. And that was some crazy stuff we had to suspend our disbelief for. Keep that in mind when we first started watching it. Remember?
Right. And then Randy Orton Edge. That was a long. That took a while to get to where it was. And yeah, as long as it's good. If it just looks cheesy and corny from the beginning, then I don't know. How many times have we said, let's see where it goes. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see where it goes. And it's turned out great. How many times has that happened? Where something starts off bad, we're like, well, let's see where it goes. And it's turned out great.
Daniel Bryan.
I can't name one. What's that?
Daniel Bryan.
But was that planned, though?
Daniel Bryan wasn't planned, though. That was because, like, CM... Right.
And The Fiend, I would argue, those first Firefly Funhouse segments, Bray was doing something different every week. Like, he was entertaining us.
And now Bray kind of sucks.
Because it's one note, because it's just The Fiend. They're not letting him do crazy shit anymore.
Well, even when he's Firefly Funhouse Bray, it's just...
Needs more characters. Needs something new.
Yeah.
Brian Barry, $4.99. Do you see them doing Chris Jericho with Asuka beating Sasha and Bayley in the same night and becoming the undisputed champion?
Raj said it could happen. I don't know. We'll see.
Will the Professor, I appreciate your $2 super chat, but you need to stop watching this podcast. Saying nobody cares about The Wire. If you don't care about The Wire, you've never seen The Wire.
I've never seen The Wire.
Thank you, Will the Professor. Next match.
Well, I know you're excited to talk about this. This was your match of the night. Sheamus versus Shorty G.
This was not my match of the night.
I know. Well, you wanted to get to the next match, Matt. So let's have a painstaking, in-depth conversation. Did you notice I did for the first time tonight that on the G and Shorty G's logo, there's little ruler lines showing measurement. Never noticed that till tonight.
What? No, I didn't see it.
It's there on the
That's
Titantron.
So stupid. What the heck?
It was that match he was in. Like, he was in a 4-way a few weeks ago, and he was the same height as everyone else. Like,
pretty much. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Sheamus, he needs to grow his hair back out, though. He looks too normal. You know,
agree.
He looks like
an accountant or anything else but a wrestler.
Yeah.
Sheamus won that match.
There you go.
It's like Carlito with a crew cut. You need the haircut. You need the long hair. You know.
Yes,
it doesn't work otherwise.
So let's talk about AJ Styles.
Yes.
With producer Joseph Parks tonight. AJ Styles coming out and talking about who's going to face at SummerSlam. He has the phenomenal intercontinental statistics system. That's a work in progress.
So we had Jeff Hardy, AJ Styles, and Abyss all in the same segment. That's like TNA 2010, right?
Yeah.
The glory days.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm glad to see Abyss has a job with him. I never knew that. I think that's cool.
Oh, yeah. He's been a producer with him for a while. He's got his old Joseph Parks get up back on.
So it's going to be AJ versus Jeff Hardy at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. Or probably not. Is it at SummerSlam or is it next Friday? I'm now confused.
They said next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's next Friday on SmackDown. That was the plan for SummerSlam. So maybe it leads to something that leads to a rematch at SummerSlam. We'll see. Yeah.
I don't need a rematch from them at SummerSlam, but the match itself one time will be very good.
Yeah.
Joe Kerr, $5. Oh, get it, Joe Kerr, $5. Just saying FTR is not over. FNR Friday Night Raj is. Now hit the man's music and bring us with some blinding lights. Hashtag FNR. You should just do a karaoke. You should release a music video of that, Raj, of you just covering the weekend's blinding lights.
Pepsi stole my gimmick. They're using it on that commercial now.
See?
Yeah.
Kevin R. Alexander, $5. Otis will give up the Money in the Bank briefcase to save Mandy's hair. Sonya then cashes in on Asuka for the SmackDown title after she beats Bayley.
Look at the creative on Kelvin, man. That is
very good. That's very good, Kelvin. Seriously.
And then Mandy ends up turning on Otis after that. Yeah.
Kelvin needs a job.
I know.
SmackDown's hiring writers right now.
Kelvin, that's really, really good. I never would have thought that one.
Thinking outside the box.
Well, that's good. Justin Lopez, $2. I popped when I saw Parks on TV. And this segment was good. I like the whiteboard.
Okay. But it's Park.
Joseph Park, yes.
Yes.
Right.
And I used to tell him, why do you just say Parks? Nobody says your name right. Just say Parks.
It just doesn't sound right when it's Park.
I agree.
But I thought AJ was phenomenal. No pun intended. I thought he was great here. You know, we talk about this all the time, but if 10 years ago when he was in TNA and you would tell me that he's going to be one of the best promo guys in WWE, I'd be like, no freaking way. There's no way. And he is. He's super entertaining. This was one of the highlights of the night for me was this segment. I thought AJ was fantastic.
He's worked really hard. You just don't get that overnight where you just become a good promo, especially being so many years in the business of people telling you you're a terrible promo but a great wrestler.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's got to mess with your head.
And he used to be so awkward, and now he's just natural.
He really is. He's done some good work, some very good work. He's worked hard at that.
Now, Antoine Fair, $10. Wow, thank you, Antoine. To continue, I'm talking about fans, but with Retribution, we don't know, and the mystery is the point of the angle. But we want to hurry and reveal everything now. That's my point, more or less.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Matt. You go first.
I apologize, but it's like Antoine. The attacks is what's hurting it, and because this is the beginning of their angle, so it's super crucial that it hits. So that we care enough to see who the unveiling is, right? We do care because we all love surprises. So that element is still good, but it's not what it was for me when it first debuted, if that makes sense. And a lot of it has to do with the corniness of what we're watching right now.
And Antoine, again, back to my point earlier, when was the last time WWE did a mystery angle where you're like, oh, we'll give it time and see where it goes, and you had a great payoff? You know, Roman Reigns getting, Eric Rowan attacking Roman Reigns.
Eric Rowan, what's in the cage?
What's in the cage?
Right, yeah, what's in the cage? I mean, there's a track record.
It's the attacks. If the attacks, like I said, if they blew up the Performance Center, if they put LSD in the clam chowder, if they did something to mess with people and made it interesting, I would tune in to watch Retribution wreak havoc on the WWE every week. But what they're doing is, we're going to show up and beat people up, and I'm going to spray paint on the wall a W and then put a circle and a slash through it.
Yeah, they look like kids that just need to be put in timeout. Like that's about it.
It's not menacing.
No.
It's just it's not even it's like it's so PG that you don't take them seriously. They're not really and the stupidest thing, oh my god, the mics are cutting in and out. Oh my god, the lights are flashing on and off. Anyhow, that's the point. If they made this interesting, I'll wait 6 months if the build is really good. So we saw, and Jeff attacked AJ at the end of that promo face-off segment and wrote his name on the whiteboard in permanent marker, which is, some things can't be erased. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro backstage cutting a promo on the Lucha House Party. And then we had Grand Metalik versus Shinsuke Nakamura with the returning Kalisto making his return.
I hate seeing where Nakamura is now.
It's frustrating.
He should be in the mix with Rollins and AJ and that upper level, and him losing the Grand Metalik.
What the hell? What do they see in him? I don't get it.
And I'm guessing this is leading to a tag title match with Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado against Nakamura and Cesaro. But
ooh, that's exciting.
But yeah, exactly. Such a waste of talent with Cesaro and Nakamura.
Yes, it is, especially Nakamura.
Yeah.
Kalisto's back.
Okay.
Did you guys pop like crazy when that happened?
I did. I jumped out of my bed.
I was like, Anjali, get up here. Kalisto's back.
Kalisto. That was my house.
I know you don't watch wrestling anymore, but Kalisto's back.
You watch now, right? The Rock? Who? No.
Kalisto.
It's the top headline on Wrestling Inc. right now. It's in the feature box.
Poor Kalisto did not deserve any of this, for the record. Poor guy. But seriously, nobody cared. I didn't care.
Raj, in fact, would you even put Kalisto in the headline, or would you just do a clickbaity WWE superstar makes surprise return tonight?
Yes.
Injured WWE star makes his return.
Totally true. That's how it would be. Yep.
Web secrets exposed.
You'd be pissed if somebody leaked you this rumor, Raj, and said, tune in tonight, there's going to be a surprise return.
I'm like, hey guys, there's going to be a surprise return tonight. Tune in.
Keith Robinson, $4.99. At least Retribution proved that it takes 2 cinder blocks, not 1 to break a window.
That's always good.
Gil Gonzalez, $5. Nothing crazy to say. Just want to wish you guys the very best to contribute to the greatest wrestling podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you, Gil.
Leon, our superstar, $4.99. I'm sorry, but the way Retribution attacked tonight, they looked like a pop-up dance troupe breaking 3 Vincent K's Jamboree.
That's pretty good, Leon. That is good.
I'm just gonna put this out there: if Retribution did breakdancing, they would be 10 times cooler than they
More
are now.
entertaining. Yes,
Yeah, but-
I agree.
Way more. Just something. Menace or Flair or Flash or something. But it's just boring. It's boring. Steve Marcuccioli with the theory, $2.99. Velveteen Dream and Retribution as Patrick Clark. Be surprised if that were the case.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I would take that.
So let's see. Antoine Fair. Antoine just keeps tossing money to discuss this point. $5. I get your point. They do crap the bed a lot. I guess I see things like I think they poisoned Tez. I see where they're going. Oh.
Position Taz?
No, I think poisoned Montez.
Oh.
They poisoned
Montez. Oh, yeah.
See, if they're poisoning, it's like a game of Clue.
Mm-hmm.
And Leonza Duncan, I LOL when of all people Raj calls something corny.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You know it's got to be bad then.
Tuck Graff saying I look like I'm ready to steal the diamonds in this hat. So
You look like you'd be ready to go over to the next match.
yes. So we had this promo backstage, Matt Riddle and Shorty G coming up trying to make some peace with Matt Riddle, trying to mutual respect. And then out of nowhere, was it a distraction? Because Baron Corbin attacked Matt Riddle from behind.
Yes. That was good. I like this.
Yeah, that was good.
This was. At least they're giving Shorty G something to make us care about him somewhat. So I like the segment.
I think Corbin looks more like a star if he didn't have that crown.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a Burger King.
Yeah.
It would be funny if he just had the Burger King crown on one week.
I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
might as
it looks like cosplay. It looks like a fake crown.
Yeah.
So after that, we had this sit-down interview with Alexa Bliss. This was interesting. She was propping or giving props to Braun Strowman, awesome, good man, funny, witty, protective, passionate. They get along so well because they call each other on their crap. But then saying the Fiend, a moth to a flame. Like, isn't it weird that Braun's like in the friend zone, but the Fiend is the sexy, mysterious bad boy that Alexa's attracted to in this love triangle?
Mm-hmm. There you
I hate what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. I think she deserves to be so much higher. She should be, in my opinion, she's one of the top 5 female heels of the past 10 years. And seeing her in this role as, a pawn in this Braun Fiend feud, I just think she should be. She should be
right.
in a different role.
You're right. Feel confident in that. What you just said. That's true. I agree with you.
So, yeah. And we'll talk more about what happened with them. But this, then we had Big E versus John Morrison. And then while this was happening, Big E looking fantastic in this match, by the way, and getting a win. The Miz on commentary. But while this was happening, Retribution was backstage, beating people up, locking someone in the flickering lights, locking someone in the bathroom.
Oh.
Flickering lights, though. Did they? They should zoom in on just one of them.
This guy's just
going that's so funny. Like, what are they doing? Are they like in the production truck for real? And like threatening what's his name? Kevin what's the guy's name?
Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn. Into like totally like big dogging him and making him like literally finger on the switch going like this. Or else.
It's like the DJ Khaled commercial with the brushing, except instead they have him going up and down with the light switch.
Yes. It's so stupid. So stupid. Great match. Let's talk more about the match.
This was a really good match.
Match was insane. This was such a good match. Great I can't call it a breaking out match for Big E because everybody knows what a huge star he should be as a singles act, right? But this was awesome. I love this match.
I would say both these guys, John Morrison as well.
John gets over in every match he's in. It doesn't matter what if he wins or loses. John always gets over.
Yeah, his last run in WWE, he was missing like a little toughness to him, a little grit, and I feel like he has it. Like he comes across way more believable now. I think both these guys, should be given a chance. And I'm sure they're gonna, as we're saying this, they're gonna beat Big E's gonna get beaten in the next 2 weeks.
You think so? You don't think they're gonna put the rocket on him? I see the rocket on him. No?
This is how WWE does stuff. Every time you think that they're gonna put the rocket on somebody, they beat him.
I mean, a real rocket. This is different. These aren't just little cruiserweights now, like Cedric Alexander and company. This is Big E. They've invested a lot of money into him, a lot of TV time into him.
I hope you're right, but I could see them beating him in the next 2 weeks. Maybe one. That's just how they do business. They don't let anyone become a superstar.
Justin Lopez, $2, left Big E using the Brock Lock again as a finish.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. This was good.
Doing a submission, I like that. It's again giving him a little something different and kind of differentiating him a little bit from the New Day. I'd like to see him get the thing I thought always that hurt Kofi when he was on his singles run was that he felt like a tag wrestler with the singles title, and I always felt like he needed to. Shawn Michaels when he became a singles was still wearing the tassels and coming out to rockers music. It wouldn't have worked. But by changing the persona a little bit, he doesn't have to, turn on the New Day, but just becoming his own guy. I think you got to do that, and hopefully Big E can do that a little bit, and not just feel like a tag team wrestler, just wrestling singles matches.
I'm calling out Anthony Gamina as our fan of the night for this comment. Hey, Glenn, thanks for leaving that window unlocked for Rudy so he could sleep on that cot.
I don't get it.
That's fine. It's fine if you don't get it. That's good. I applaud you, sir. Terry Allen Jr., Paul and others are wise in NXT booking wrestlers when required in others' absence to not overexpose them and brainstorm ideas for them simple and effective. I wish we didn't see the same people week in and week out on television.
What can I ask you, Terry Allen Jr.? Why are we calling him Paul?
Because he's smart. He's a smart mark, Matt.
It's his boy. He talks to him all the time. Big Paul.
I used to think that too, like not having him on TV every week. And when you're a big star, I agree. But on AEW, like when you see like they don't like Brian Cage hasn't been on TV for a couple weeks, he loses steam. All these guys when they're on TV for a while and then they're not. Scorpio Sky, he was back on, but he hadn't been on for a while.
Right.
They lose steam. And until you're at that top level, I feel like you got to be on as much as you can. Otherwise, you kind of dissipate.
NXT has it harder, in my opinion, because they're a new company. They've only been there for a year. So everybody technically is new, except for Chris Jericho and Moxley, I'd say.
AEW, yeah.
AEW, I mean. You know what I mean?
Right. But those guys, Cody, I mean, there's not longer than a week when they're not on. Whereas you got, what was her name? Abaddon?
But the people you just said, for example. There's not enough time in the TV show.
Right. Lance Archer, I don't think has wrestled a match in forever. I mean, they've done some segments, but anyway.
So I'm just going back to make sure we didn't miss any super chats here.
No, Antoine, I'm okay with losing. It's the way that people lose that craps on pushes, but Big E needs to get away the New Day gimmick and change up his promo style. I agree. I think the comical promo style, I'd like to see him get more serious and become more of a...
He will. I think he will. Won't happen overnight, but it'll happen.
Alex Alberto G, $2, Cormier, or I don't even know how you pronounce that. That's how out of the loop I am. Miocic.
I'm taking Cormier.
I want Cormier, but I think Miocic.
Leon, our superstar, how can a former WWE champion who main evented WrestleMania with Cena and The Rock be holding John Morrison back?
Miz was a prop in that match. He wasn't like a main, he wasn't like this. There was this huge build to see the Miz. That story was all about The Rock and John Cena.
That's true. The Miz did very good with it, though. He held his own. He proved he could be there, I thought.
Right.
So after Big E gets that win, stands tall, leveled by a brogue kick from Sheamus. And then Braun Strowman comes out yelling, freshly shaved head. Braun, I know that well. But he still had the beard and stared at the ring, marches down his other's retreat. We go to commercial, and he's there with that new bald look, delivered a message to the Fiend saying he warned him after the Swamp fight that he would be the most evil son of a bitch we've ever seen. Strowman calls the Fiend to the ring so he can rip him from limb to limb. Strowman says it'll be the last thing the Fiend sees before he eats out his entrails. Think about that one for a second. Music hits. Out came Alexa Bliss instead. And Alexa trying to like mediate a little bit here. And Strowman's like, oh, you played me. And he says, everyone can get it now, including you. And then she was slapping him, lifts her up in the ring, drops her for the slam. So the lights went out. That was an interesting editorial choice. But then we see the Fiend in the ring staring over Bliss. And then Strowman is on the screen laughing.
Does he have superpowers now? Is that what this means?
The Swamp, man. The Swamp does it.
Okay. Just checking.
So if you guys were writing this, if you guys are writing a Fiend Braun Strowman feud, and I'm like, hey, let's add Alexa Bliss to this. You know?
Why don't you like it? I like it.
You do?
I do, because it's an old tie-in. How don't you like it?
Because it's a mixed match challenge tie-in that no one watched. And it was something that hurt Braun, like him making googly eyes at Alexa.
Okay, those things are true.
You want to keep him away from that.
But again, you have to think, you have to remember what they have a history together somewhat. I don't know. I like tie-ins. I just do. To me, it's like a CD back in the day that had like a hidden, what do they call them, Easter eggs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of an homage. I like it.
Yeah, it's long-term storytelling. I think they should be playing it up more. I mean, even tonight, I think it was weird how she was trying to make it seem like, because they were saying, would you want more with him? Like her kind of pulling that I see him more as a friend sort of thing. Like, I like that. I like how they're doing this with Braun. I think what they need her to do, though, is be more proactive in this. And if she's going to stay with the Fiend, like I really want Alexa to go dark with it and do something different with her character.
Yes.
If they go in that direction, I'm open to it, but I just have a feeling that she's kind of done after SummerSlam. Like she's back to, just the women's division, but we'll see. Yeah. So yeah, Braun shaving his head. He's got the bald look now. He's got the Glenn.
He's had a skullet for so long. I think this was the right call.
But yeah, this has to have a good payoff. They have to really do something with this. But Braun being a heel again, like that right there, if we get nothing else out of this, that is a huge positive outcome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So that was SmackDown tonight, and man, in theory, I like Retribution, but the execution is just not doing it for me.
So listen, going back over the show the way we just did, I think the show was good, actually. I do.
Yeah.
It's just like what Raj said at the beginning of the show. All that was on my mind was how corny and annoying Retribution was at points.
Yeah.
And just this stupid tomfoolery of their flickering the lights, for example, was in my head more than anything else. Other than that main event match. I love that main event match.
Yeah, outside of Retribution, I agree. There was nothing else. I found a lot of the Alexa Bliss Strowman stuff corny, but it wasn't near as bad as Retribution. And I thought everything else on the show was.
AJ cut a world beater promo again.
It was great. Yeah, Big E winning that singles match. That was like the only match on the show, right? Or the Grand Metalik. I didn't like him beating Nakamura.
Oh yeah, we did not like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the women's battle royal was good. I would have booked it maybe to give a little more star shine to some of the other women in there. I thought even they could have done more to keep Lacey and Naomi going in their feud. But this wasn't a bad episode of SmackDown. The Retribution thing, though, man, they gotta spice this up a little bit because this is just becoming an anchor. And like Monday, now I'm thinking, oh great, Monday we've got Retribution and potentially the third week of Raw Underground. Like this could just tie Raw down substantially if both of these suck Monday night.
I agree.
BM Williams 121511 $5 super chat. Strowman reminds me of Bizarro. I want to like it, but it just comes off as campy to me a lot of the time.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I loved Strowman a few years ago, and we would talk about it on this podcast. But
Aaron Gomez $2. I thought SmackDown got better at the end. It was a good ending. This is not where I thought they were going to go with Alexa and Braun and Bray. And that. Curious to see where it goes. And SummerSlam's a week from Sunday. Raj, what do we got in the news?
So they're going to do SummerSlam at the Amway Center, like we mentioned, in Orlando. So I don't know if you guys have been watching any sports, but they're all doing different things with virtual fans. Yeah. MLB has the cutouts. So they're going to have LEDs all over in this arena. And so this is like a full-size arena. So they're going back. And I think one thing that has hurt WWE is they haven't adapted. They haven't made the shows work at the Performance Center. Like AEW, they have found a way to make their shows work at Daly's Place. And it looks good. It's not near as good as it was. Their ratings are also down, but not near as much. But they've managed to adapt enough that their shows still come across as looking like kind of what they used to, just not as good. Whereas WWE, it's night and day. It's just been piss poor at the Performance Center. So now they're going to be back in an arena. They're going to have LEDs in the stands, and you can sign up and be one of the fans in the stands. So it's like the NBA where you can be a fan in the stand. So it's
cool.
We'll see how it goes.
So get out those Wrestling Inc. T-shirts and submit your application to be a fan in the stands.
Yeah.
What else do we got, Raj?
And then also the NXT and Dynamite viewership. Both were down. Both were down quite a bit. Dynamite was down 12% from last week. NXT was down 28%. NXT was down 18%. Dynamite scored 792,000 viewers, topping NXT's 619,000 viewers by 28%. AEW drew a 0.32 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. Rather, they were down 11%, beating the 0.16 scored by NXT by 100%. So NXT did a 0.16. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean they've beaten NXT by more in the past. So they
but
have
NXT getting
demo.
a point 0.16 in the what?
In the 18 to 49 demo. Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
They've got 2 Wednesdays, right? The next 2 Wednesdays they're on unopposed.
Jeez.
Yeah, so the next 2 Wednesdays are on unopposed. AEW is going to be on Saturday night. We're going to be on next Saturday night for TakeOver, and then we have we're going to cover Dynamite and TakeOver that night. So, yeah, NXT has a chance to kind of get the momentum back. I mean, it was only like 6 weeks ago that they were beating AEW in total viewers. So,
right,
I do got to mention one thing. Matt, I don't know. Do you guys listen to The Observer?
No.
So Dave Meltzer has been kind of floating this idea of Fox and networks looking at, like, they should look at AEW, and really kind of floating hard that they should kind of look at AEW because WWE ratings are going down. Their 18 to 34 numbers are going down.
Jesus, Dave. I thought I was a homer.
Yeah, like does he have stock? Does he have options in AEW? Like, this is a little uncomfortable. His level of praise.
It's really hard, but especially because it's like AEW ratings haven't gone up. It's just WWE has gone so far down. So it's not like Fox would want any of them with the ratings at where they are now. Because Fox wanted.
And sorry, Dave, but WWE is Disney World as far as brand awareness goes. You know what I mean? That Fox does want to do business with the bigger brand. That it makes sense.
Yeah.
And Fox is going to have a lot of holes in their schedule starting this fall because production's not. I mean, with the.
Dave, I'm sorry, but does Dave sit there and he thinks like they're going to watch a cruiserweight match on AEW and like everyone at Fox executives are going to go blankers over it? Like, this is a real TV network here,
right?
Like, they know brand. They know brand identification.
And SmackDown's doing well, isn't it?
No, I mean it's winning right now in reruns in the demo, but it's last place in total viewers against reruns. And look, I mean, I find AEW to be the most entertaining show most weeks.
Me too.
But it's kind of ridiculous to think that Fox would want a show that does a point, 3 in the 18 to 49 demo and under 1 million viewers on their Friday, in a primetime time slot. So it's just one of those things when if Fox was expecting 3 million viewers and a 1.0 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, it's not like they're going to go to something just because they're beating WWE in particular demo.
You're right.
And I know what Dave is saying, like AEW is going up, and it's actually not going up. It's WWE going down. And that's more something that WWE has to fix. Otherwise, they'll lose the deal and there'll be no wrestling on Fox. It's not like they're just going to go to something else.
There's also advertiser awareness. I mean, I work in advertising, and I can tell you that when you say WWE to people, like everyone knows what that is. People think about that association with AEW. Like you have to explain it to people. They don't get it.
Right. So anyway, just wanted to kind of bring that up with the ratings because there's been a lot of talk about it. And,
I'm glad you did.
Okay. Is that everything?
And that is everything.
It's Friday night, people. Matt Morgan, you got a campaign to run. Raj, you got some drinking to do. I'm out of here, folks. We'll catch you back here Monday night to talk about Raw Underground, the best thing in professional wrestling on Monday's Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.